Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome back for another video on the Gigacraft Reloaded SMP server. As you can see behind me, we've been a little busy the past couple days. We've got some enchantments finally set up. Many rolls later on the enchantment clerks and stuff, and librarians. That took a little bit of time, but we were able to get some pretty awesome enchantments, which we were able to get mending, so I put mending on most of my stuff already that needs it. We also got infinity for our bow, and I haven't added it to anything yet, but we have silk touch as well. But this episode, well, video, is not really about our building down there or the enchantment or anything like that. We need to begin a multi-phase project. Yes, multi-phase. The first part of this phase is, well, learning about the electricity mod we have. And with that, we're also going to need to generate electricity for ourselves here in our workshop. Which, as you can see, we have a lot of stuff here that needs powered. And we have it all powered off of one system right now. So we need to figure out exactly how much power we need to generate and how many motors we might need. Because the cool thing about these motors from my testing in a creative environment is that as you get higher in speed, you get more stress per motor. But the higher the RPM, the more power they use. So, if you like things really quick, better have a big battery. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into them a little bit. So if I am correct, if we go at connected, no, wrong one. There we go, at crafts and additions. So crafts and addition gives you a few things. Gives you the ingredients that you need to make a few different things for the motors. Here I am trying to sell internet now too, apparently. But let's take a look at what we would need. So for the most part, we would end up having to craft up some wire, some spools for the wire, and then some of these other smaller ingredients. But the big things that we need to worry about is the type of fuel we're running our motors off of to generate electricity, which, if you're trying to be green, I think we might go the windmill route in the end. But to generate electricity, you use what's called the alternator. So with the alternator, it takes rotational force at 32 RPM to generate electricity. The amount it produces is generated through its rotational speed. So anything above 32 increases the amount of electricity it can create. And then we have the electric motor. They're compact and configurable, just like a rotational speed controller. You can choose direction and RPM, but it does require electricity. So with this, we have to have an accumulator. And you can have it as a multi-block structure or a single block. But I find having it as a large battery bank, if you have enough of them, you'll be fine. But we will need a battery bank of some sort too to store the energy. So that leaves me to some necessities we need. Because to craft the motors and the alternators, you can't do it in a normal crafting grid or in a normal mechanical crafter setup like we have here. So we're going to need to set up a mechanical crafting area just for our alternators and motors. And then we also need to look at what we need to make all of these. So let's go ahead and see what we have. And one thing I can tell we don't have is the mechanical crafters we're going to need. We need to make 12 of them. So let's go ahead and look back at that recipe. Oh, fairly simple. 3, 6, 9. So we'll need 4 sets. So let's see if we have most of those ingredients. We got the 4 electron tubes, 4 brass casings. The only thing I don't think we have at the moment is crafting tables, but that's simple enough. So this will get us what we need to get started. Oops. Let's not forget this. Okay. So let's go ahead and set these up. And we're going to utilize the space we have over here for a few different reasons. A, we're right near power, which is a good thing, but what I'm thinking is... how much stress do we have left? There it is. 7,000, so we should be able to run it at a decent speed, I would imagine. So we will set it up on the back side right here. And what we'll try is first we'll try to run it off of our main drive power. Just to speed things up a little bit, you know? And I think I might already be setting these up wrong. Let's look back at the recipe that we need. So we have a 3x3, and then 1 on each side. Okay. Well, I guess I wasn't setting it up wrong. Good old dirt. The cheapest scaffolding you can find. So now, with that being said, we're gonna put a barrel off to this side here. Okay, so everything should flow right to where it needs to go. Let's see, do we have a barrel? No. So let's go check our inventory, because we also need some other stuff. But yeah, again, this is going to be a multi-phase project. Mainly because we're going to make electricity for ourselves first, and then we're going to bring it in for everybody else. Because we wouldn't want to sell a product to people without understanding it fully. What was I looking for? Barrels, that's right. And eventually we'll get this all cleaned up too. Now the good thing is, because of where we're setting this up, either way, we'll be able to power it. So if turns out that rotation is too quick and it overstresses, we can go down to that one. And then we just have to move our barrels around. So, shafts. Okay, survey says... Hey! Let's go see what we're at for stress usage. Because we all know that can be stressful. Not bad. Okay. So now that we got that all set up, we will also want to have a button just in case. But now let's look at what we need to craft some of these things. Before we even do the alternator, we need to look at the accumulator. Which is very simple, but it does require electrum wire, copper rods, and the capacitors. And we're going to want a few of these so we can make a big battery. So capacitors are simple. Let's see how many of these we're able to make. We'll need... Okay, so we can make up to 5 right now. So what are we short on then? Looks like redstone torches. So let's go ahead and make some torches. 6, 7, 8. Do I have any sticks? Oh look, a button. Perfect. I got 1 stick in here. Guess I've been doing a lot of villager trades. Okay, let's go ahead and send that over. But real quick, Electrum, where did I see you? Here we go. And I gotta change that to say crafts and additions, but we're gonna go ahead and send 3 of these. First to the press, if I'm correct. Let me just double check this recipe. Yeah, we need wire, which you get from the sheet. So we'll send that to the press. And we need copper rods, which is ingots set to the mill. So we're actually going to send 10 of... We'll go ahead and just send 20. Okay, so while those work, we will work on making the other stuff that we need to. Okay, so we got the capacitors we need. Let's see, brass casings. We're at 6, so you know what? Let's go ahead and send some stuff to the casing machine while we're at it. Where are you? This is what I like. It's the fact that I can just send stuff and it goes. You know? Eventually, we may set up a few factory gauges here. Oh, look at that. Our rods are going in. Perfect. See if we got the electrum sheets back yet. We did, so we'll send those through to the rolling mill as well to get our wire. So because we have to run it off of 32 RPMs, we're going to see what happens when we place it here for the alternator versus here in terms of stress. Because if we can run it at the faster speed without adjusting the rest of our system, that would be great. And actually, we can run it right off of there then, and put our battery bank right here. And we'll see how that works. Okay, let's see if we got any of that stuff back that we need. Oh, perfect. I think I gotta send a few more of these to the press. Let's go ahead and set that to the depot. Not sure how many batteries we're going to be making. So I have a feeling we're only making 4, but might as well have the extra just in case, you know? So if I'm correct, it goes capacitor on each side, electrum, rods, and there we go, the accumulator. Ah, bingo. So we'll go ahead and send these items back on in that we're not using. And for right now, we are going to put this guy right here, along with the extra shaft if we need it. So now let's look at what we need for the alternator. Fairly simple. We're going to need to make some more capacitors. We're going to need some iron rods, sheets, alloy, and copper spools. So let's look at this a second. So copper spool is just this copper wire surrounding an empty spool. Copper wire, just like anything else, you take the sheets of copper, run them through the rolling mill to get your wire. Get the empty spool, it's sheet, nugget, and sheet, which you get a lot, and these you reuse. So go ahead and fill one of these to the depot. And we'll make 20 wires while we're at it. So we'll send those to the rolling mill. And what else was it? Oh yes, we need some iron rods. So we'll send those ingots to the rolling mill to get iron rods. And let's see if we got our spool stuff. We did. Perfect. Okay, so we got our spools now. Now that we have our spools, let's go and take a quick look. See how we're coming along. Perfect. Looks like we got wire coming in. Very nice. And something we may also work at as a backup for if these ever fail is to set up a system where if these don't have any rotational energy, it can be jump-started with a motor possibly. I guess almost like a car starter when you think about it. So we know each one is going to need 6. So we're only making 1 alternator for the moment. So let's send this to the pickup. What else did we need? Oh, capacitors again, that's right. You know what? We are going to make 14 total. Well, almost 14. So let's send 20 zinc to be pressed. And the other thing to keep in mind, make sure you always look to see where you're sending stuff. We'll go ahead and make some more torches while we're at it. Okay, now let's see if we do. So each spool is 4, and we need, you think I would remember this by now? 3 spools. So, should be 12 wires. 1 rod. And we'll put these away for later, because we will end up making more. Same with the capacitors. After we're done making what we need to, we'll put the rest of them away. So we should have everything now. Oh, almost forgot the most important piece. Andesite alloy. Now we should have everything we need to make that alternator. Let's go ahead and make this, and then we'll see if we can generate some electricity. Okay. So, I know these have to go on the edges. The rod goes there if I'm correct. The capacitor goes there. Followed by 3 spools. And survey says... Hey, we did it! I guess I can remember after all. Let's go ahead and hook this up and see what happens. So we'll utilize right here, is I can set up a bigger battery bank as we keep going with it. Hey, look at that! We can run it off the system at full speed, and we still have stress left over. Now before we do that though, I want to know... Okay. So, our purposes, since we're using it in here, we're going to run it off the main drive. That gives us 104 energy per tick, which is very important. Because if you were to run something directly off of this, if you use more energy per tick than you generate, you'll end up stopping. And we still got plenty of seeds coming in, which is good. So let's go ahead and grab the accumulators. And can I still access that from the other side before I go down this rabbit hole? Yes. So the other key thing to remember, the accumulators, once you place them, you pick them up, you lose any energy stored. Also, if you change their configuration, you'll lose the energy that you have stored. So here we go. 1, 2, rusty dirt blocks, 3, and 4. And we are now generating electricity. So, I guess this is going to be a short video because we got to let that battery fill up. But on the next one, we're going to hook up a motor, maybe swap out some of these torches for light bulbs, and go from there. And fun fact, did you know torches affect FPS? Who knew? It's because of the particles they give off and the animation. So if you're having FPS issues, turn down your particles on stuff like campfires and torches, or swap them out for lanterns, or, better yet, go with some light bulbs. But anyways, quick little video today. We'll see you on the next one. And as always, you can find me over here on YouTube or on Twitch. And I'm gonna have some special projects coming up on this server too. So we're gonna see what goes on. But keep crafting, and I'll see you back here on the next one.